Good morning, Darth. Beginning to wonder if anybody was seeing me or anything here. Good morning, Janine. How's everybody doing this morning? Get a little closer here so I can read. It's my buddy right there. Good morning, Yvonne. There's Eric. I don't know if it's uranium 252 or 235 or whatever it is, but yeah, I found some. Pretty cool, huh? Nice radioactive stuff. You know, how many people have radioactive stuff in their house, huh? Like I said, look at this under a black light. This is just amazing. And unfortunately, the camera on the computer is kind of washing out, so you're not getting anywhere near the effect. It's just because eerie. It's exactly the color green that you think of when you think of something that's radioactive. So yeah, I thought that was kind of cool. Yeah, I was experimenting with some of the settings on here when I was looking, and I wasn't sure what that text slow mode thing was. I probably won't do that again. But yeah, what I thought it was is it would keep people from, sending a message and sending a message and sending a message and sending a message. It would put a 20-second gap, but apparently it's delaying everything. And I don't know if I can turn it off here now that I'm going. I don't know. It's annoying. I won't do it again. Let's see here. Do I have anything I can do about this? Manage. Let's see if that'll do it for me here. No. No, I think we're just going to have to live with it for now. Yeah, sorry. I was screwing around with some of the settings to see what they actually did. And slow mode seemed like a good idea because if you get somebody, sometimes you get these trolls that come in and will post the same obscene thing over and over and over and over and over again. And I thought if we put a 20-second pause between each posting, um, then that would prevent the issue. But I guess not. Yeah, I guess so. It's a shame they have all these features you can access, but you can't turn them off once the live stream's going. So I don't know. We'll have to put up with it this time. Unless it bugs everyone so much, we'll stop the live stream and start over again. I don't know. They put your name on TV. That's cool. So what's everybody doing today? I'm going into my long weekend, so I'm looking forward to that. And then next week is going to be an extra short week, and then we go into maintenance cycle at work. And then I have like almost the next 2 weeks off. So I'm going to go try and do some fun things vlogging wise during that time. We're going to get some good stuff. Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah, as a matter of fact, Darth, I do have some new rocks to show you. This is one that I picked up just last week. Look at that. I got it written down what the blue is, but the green is what they call malachite. And I have some malachite, but it's kind of cool to see it with the different crystals. And I thought that was kind of neat. So yeah, it wasn't just radium glass that I got. I got some cool rocks too. And this doesn't really fall into the category of rock, but this is something I've wanted for a long time. I don't know if you can see that. That's a piece of amber, and that's actually a bug in the middle of it. So this is like Jurassic Park stuff. I thought that was pretty cool. And I got this piece of amber. It's the same thing. And you can kind of see there's ants in there. There's like 5 ants in there. So that's kind of cool. And clone my own dinosaurs here, right? And then of course there's this baby here. And when I got into the store, the owner pulled me aside and said, "Oh, there's something you got to see. You're going to want to see this." And she pulled this thing out, and look at that, all the different crystals in there. And this one's kind of cool too. Unfortunately, I'm not really into them polishing the back. And she said that to me. I know you're not really into that, but this thing's really cool anyway. And look at what happens when you hit it with the light. All this dark stuff here in the middle, it all kind of suddenly turns white. Like I said, this camera doesn't do real good on it because it kind of washes out really easy. But yeah, I thought that was really cool. All the crystals and pretty stuff in that. You look here, there's like there's a couple places here where there's like really deep caverns and pits in here where stuff goes like way, way, way deep inside there. So yeah, I thought that was kind of cool. Yeah, there's one of those caverns right there you can kind of look into. So yeah, I'm always collecting something. I'm kind of obsessive on stuff like that. Looks like a T-Rex head. I don't know. Does it? I guess maybe if you look at it that way, maybe a little. Looks almost a little like Texas too, with the panhandle here and up over the top. And yeah, that's my Texas rock. No, the blue one doesn't react to the black light, but the big piece does, and of course the radium glass behind me does. That's going to be kind of cool for a while. I'm thinking I'm going to run over to the Cameron Trading Company today and see if they have some because they might have some too. A lava lamp for $3, a Bewitched the entire series for 2, and a sword for 15. You're quite the bargain hunter. One of the things I was told is sometimes you can go to like Goodwill or Salvation Army and stuff like that, and sometimes they'll have uranium glass in the store also. And I've been thinking about, I went over to the one near where I live, and it didn't really have anything exciting, but it's one of those things maybe I'm gonna have to check out from time to time because I think I do want to get a few more pieces of this stuff, and because I think this would look really cool. Yeah, it's my Waco Ale Company T-shirt. You remember when I visited Waco Ale Company a couple years ago? So I just figured, okay, that's the T-shirt for the day. One of the local breweries. Used to see a tall tree where on your way home in California that looks like Godzilla. That's cool. The Godzilla tree. Yeah, I kind of like this one too. I guess it is sort of like an egg, but I don't know. I like all the crystals and all the bling in there. 'Cause, I mean, you even you get these big pieces in here, and then even here there's just little teeny tiny little stuff in there that you can really see when you light it up just right. So yeah, like I said, they know what it is that I like, and so when I walk into the store, they often just say, "Oh, I got to show you this. I got to show you that." Of course, I think they're going to regret having shown me the radium glass, the uranium glass, because I think that may start competing with some of the stuff I get from them. Because now I'm going to have to buy some more of that. I'm going to have a whole section of radium glass. I don't know what hatches from that egg, but I don't know if I want to be anywhere near it either. That thing's the size of a bowling ball. Maybe a velociraptor or something like that. Grandfather clock's still working in case there was any questions. Unfortunately, that. I'm sure that's how your Barbie collection started too, Rhonda, with just a single piece. And I mean, it's not like I don't have a history of getting obsessive on collecting things. Maybe that's my one weakness here. I've seen enough of your house in photos, Rhonda. I have a good idea what we're talking about. Does who have a catalog? I don't. I guess I don't understand the question, Darth. Organized chaos. Yeah, that's this place too. Oh, do you mean the rock place? No, no. They themselves are collectors. In fact, I've talked to them a number of times, and they say that, oh yeah, there's certain things that we find when we're out shopping, and they say, yeah, that's coming home with us. So I think they appreciate me on that level because they realize I'm the same thing. They told me they were reluctant to let this go, but that they were happy that uh, it went home to a collector like me, and is going to be loved and admired. So. Yeah, because that's what you do in that place. You just walk in there. I mean, I did the vlog on it when that one time, what, a year or so ago, where I went in there and vlogged the place. And that's basically, it's just they're collectors and they only run the store like 4 days a week, and so the rest of the time they're out like shopping. They talk to collectors and stuff like that. I guess they just know places that where there's people that collect and wholesale stuff like that. Yeah, I'm thinking that too. I got my bonus coming in a couple weeks, and I'm also going to have some time off in the next couple weeks. So I want to plan a couple, a trip or two to do some fun vlogs, and we may do the display case too. Was the new rock more than $100? Yes, unfortunately. Let's see here. Yeah, there's the price right there. That's what I paid for that. So yeah, this stuff isn't cheap. And I think that's probably why they like me so much. I probably spent $5,000 in their store in the past, uh, 8 months or so. I know they see me walk in the store, and I'm sure just dollar signs pop up in their eyes because I rarely get out of there for less than 100. No, I don't haggle with them because they're one of the reasons I like this place is I have gone to rock and mineral shops before, and they got really good prices. They get good prices from their wholesalers, and they pass them on. And I think, and a lot of times they give me discounts just because I'm a good customer. Got to see if you can find a uranium glass paperweight. That would be cool. Yeah, it's probably the well, no doubt about it. It's the local business I frequent more than any other in town. I love that place because I always know that I'm going to walk in that place and I'm going to see something amazing, and in a lot of cases, take it home with me. And of course, they know me well enough so that when I'm looking for something, they'll look for it for me. And so I know I've been looking. I told him a while ago I was looking for some amber with a bug in it, and I said, yeah, if you could find something with like a rat in it or something like that, that'd be really cool. And so the second I walked in there, they said, oh yeah, I got some amber I want to show you. And I mean, you maybe a little hard to see, but those are ants. It's hard to tell how old this could be. It probably isn't like Jurassic Park or ants. This might be only 100 or 1,000 years old, but it's still pretty cool. And then there's a very cool bug in that. And kind of let's see if we can, you can kind of start to see a little bit. That's a bug in there, trapped in amber, just like Jurassic Park. Beer and rocks. Yeah, you're right. Making stained glass, that would be fun to do. I'll give you a little bit more than a hint. I want to go down to Johnson Space Center in Houston and check that place out. Um, a Another thing I want to do actually came from the rock and mineral shop too. They were showing me the owner of the place showed me a picture that she had come up on one of her Facebook pages, and somebody had built a wall in front of their house made of ammonite, and it was a large prehistoric creature that lived in the oceans that went extinct around the time the dinosaurs went extinct. It was a very prolific species. In fact, I have an ammonite. Let me show you at least what we're talking about. Get up and walk away. And I do that more and more now on the live stream. Okay. Get everything back together. Okay, so this is an ammonite. I showed it to you a couple of weeks ago. This is an acquisition I picked up at the rock and mineral shop too. They have fossils from time to time too, so not as into those, but this one kind of caught my attention. I thought was cool. Well, there was somebody in a little town north of Texas called Stony, Texas, that collected some of these ammonites that are like the size of car tires, and they built a wall with these things embedded in it. And they were showing me that, and I said, Okay, well, they couldn't tell me exactly where it was. In fact, they weren't even sure which city it was, but she mentioned Stony, Texas. And I just went and pulled Stony, Texas up on the map and started looking around and said, okay, well, that looks like something. And I went and zoomed in and it was indeed that. And I want to go see that. When I started looking at it street view, it's like, oh man, this place, they got like a bunch of like antique signs and really cool stuff in the property too. So I think I want to go see that. I'm also thinking about maybe stopping in Austin and doing a movie film location vlog that I've been thinking about doing for a long time. So, yeah, hopefully we're going to get some of that done. Because I got our maintenance cycle technically starts next Saturday, and so we're only going to work half day on Friday. We'll work full day on Thursday, but we're going to start shutting lines down, and then I'm off on Saturday, Sunday. I think I might have to work on Monday, but then I have all the rest of that week plus all of the next week off. So I want to do some kind of fun stuff and get some good vlogs up. So hopefully there'll be some fun stuff coming up in the next few weeks. How long have I been interested in rocks? I mean, I have rocks in my collection I've had since I was in my 20s, and those were actually rocks that I like went out and bought myself. But I have like rocks that I remember picking up as a kid. And so, yeah, I think I've always been a little interested in it. It got supersized a bit when I took some geology classes in college about 15 years ago, and then it just went off the deep end when I went to that rock and mineral show about a year ago in Waco, and it's been crazy since then. I've picked up more rocks in the last year now than the whole rest of my life combined. So yeah, it probably just comes to the fact that I have a little bit of expendable income now, and like picking up things like that catch my attention. My understanding is that they were unable to get really good footage of the landing because the camera itself didn't deploy. That's what I read. At least I read the kind of the headline. Got a little bit of information on it. I used to have that same problem with the kitty treats with my cats. They'd find a bag and they'd eat their way into the bag. That's why all the kitty treats are in the jars now. They can't get them in there because they don't have thumbs. Yeah, that might be an option too, John. The bonus should be nice enough where I could get a pretty good telescope. Yes, the eclipse is coming, but I wouldn't be able to use a telescope for that. I have that solar telescope that I've shown you a few times, and I'm definitely looking forward to that. Yeah, we're like, just a little bit more than like a month and a half away from that. I can't wait. And it's happening on a Monday too, so hopefully the weather will cooperate. The concern is, April isn't always the best clear sky weather in Texas. So the fact that I have a few days around it, I have the day before because the day before is Sunday. I'll have Monday and Tuesday afterwards. Monday the day of, and Tuesday and Wednesday afterwards to come home. We just may end up going on some sort of road trip to someplace where there's clear skies, and hopefully we can see this. I still hope I can live stream this. It'd be awesome if I could just do it right in the backyard. It's actually, we're predicting like upper 80s today and 90 degrees tomorrow. And then funny, by Thursday, it's going to be back into the 60s again. So I don't know. The weather is really weird here. Oh, that is cold. Is it snowing or just cold there, Rhonda? Guess it's easier to check than to ask, probably. Oh yeah. Yeah, you got some snow coming in. I don't know if it's gonna make it that far to you, but it's over a couple of the Great Lakes coming your way. Looks like it might go north of you. But yeah, it's cold there, I can tell. Am I gonna watch the eclipse? I'm hoping to live stream it. We'll start before it starts, and we'll run the whole thing if I can. Are you that lady, Rhonda? Referring to yourself in the third person? Well, I'm going to use that folded telescope that I have that's designed for looking at eclipses. Yeah, I heard about that too, Gene. I don't know. I think the problem would be that for most of the United States, the eclipse is going to happen, on or around noon, kind of middle of the day. If you're flying in an airplane and looking out the side of the window, you're not going to be able to see an eclipse very well above you. Now, maybe they can peel the skin off the top of the roof like they've been doing with some of the airplane doors and look at it that way. But even then, that would be kind of miserable, with all the wind and all that. So I don't know. I don't know how good that would be. It'd be kind of fun to do that, but like I said, I want to see the eclipse. I've seen partials before. I've never seen a total. Yeah, that'd be cool if they had an airplane with a glass roof. It's supposed to happen, well, around noon on April 8th. And that's a Monday, if I'm not incorrect. Yeah, some of the schools around here are going to be closed for that day. I even know that my company is going to have a viewing party out in the front in the parking lot, so people can see it. Good morning, Connie. The girls are doing. You guys aren't even in the path of totality, are you, Rhonda? I think it's probably moving east of you because I think it does go through like the eastern tip of Canada, but I don't think it's. You'll see a partial eclipse. I think, right? Let me see. Let me see if I can find the path of the eclipse here. Okay, here. Let's see. All right. Okay, so yeah, this is the path of the eclipse going through Texas, and the green line in the middle. I'm assuming you can all see this. The green line in the middle is where the path of totality is, and then, well, I guess the yellow lines are the path of totality, and the green line is right down the middle, and you can see right there the green line goes just a little bit north of Waco. So I'm going to be right in the middle of it. I'm going to look forward to that. Let's see. Uh, that's going through Arkansas, Missouri, Illinois. So it's going to go right through Indianapolis. That'll be cool if you're in Indianapolis, Kentucky, Indiana, Ohio. Let's see if we can work our way north. See, it's going through New York. So yeah, Vermont. Yeah, see, it's going to be way too far south of you. You won't see the totality, but yeah, there's the whole path right there. So yeah, unfortunately, I don't know. Maybe you will see a little bit because you are kind of like right up here, right, Rhonda? Well, the beauty is you don't really need a high vantage point because basically anywhere that you can see the sun is going to be, I just got to get out of the way of trees and stuff like that. Logan's learned to crochet, huh? There you go. Yeah, I've seen the space station a few times too. I actually got an app on my phone that'll tell me where it is and give me alerts as to when it's available overhead. Well, if at all possible, you'll be able to see it on my YouTube channel, Rhonda. It reminds me of a joke, and since we've gone there, Rhonda, I'm going to tell the joke. How is Star Trek like toilet paper? Any questions? Any answers? Because they both fly around Uranus looking for Klingons. Ba-dum-bum. Hi, Spaniel Mom. How are you? Welcome to the party. Here we are again. She's on the floor laughing. Good. That's what I'm going for. Charlotte says her sister has no class. Awesome. I don't know, Charlotte. Do guys really like a girl with a sense of humor? Because guys tend to have kind of weird sense of humors to begin with. So if they can find a girl that has a weird sense of humor too, that's a good thing. Charlotte says just because you think it mean doesn't mean you have to say it. Yes, Charlotte, it does mean that. You are correct, Yvonne. See, that's why guys like movies like Blazing Saddles. Yeah, yeah, I gathered that, Rhonda. And that's why we love them. Good morning, Scott. Oh, this is my Waco Ale Company T-shirt. One of the breweries I visited in town. Chili is another way to a guy's heart, Logan. But save the tooting for the second date. I was wondering how you made Charlotte brick. Haven't had anything new recently. I mean, I tried when I was driving home from California. I tried to stop and find little local beers in like grocery stores and stuff like that and try them. I found a couple of cool things, but the things that are like really local, that's one of the things you run into with some of these really small breweries is a lot of cases they only serve just the immediate area. I've become really fond of this beer called Waco Town, made by Brotherwell Brewery. I visited them a couple times, but good luck finding that anywhere else. Fortunately, they have it in the grocery store here. So there's a couple Brotherwell brews that you can find in the grocery store. But I wish I could find like some of my Bear Arms Brewery beers in the grocery store. But you got to go right to the source for that. Yeah, I still do the Voodoo Ranger. That's still a good one. Jessica drinks Dad's root beer from brown bottles and says she's getting drunk. Good for you, Jessica. That's funny. What's my favorite beer? That's like saying which one's your favorite kid. I don't know. I don't know if I can pick one. I kind of go through streaks where I drink a lot of one thing and then I'll try something else. Right now, it's that Waco Town that I'm fond of. In fact, I got to go get some more of that. I finished that off last night. Yeah, Rhonda, who's your favorite kid? Want to listen to that day? Okay, there you go, girl. Now you know what you got to do. You got to listen. It's a competition for mom's love. Logan says that's not me then. Yeah, I wish there was a Costco closer to me. Apparently, there used to be one in Waco, but there isn't anymore. And the nearest one is nearly in Austin, Round Rock, which is just this side of Austin. And so, the point of going to Costco is to buy in bulk so that you can save the money. But if I'm burning up all those savings by driving 100 miles to Austin, that it isn't the benefit anymore. So my Costco card expired. Never been to BJ's. I've seen them. I think they even got one here in town, but yeah, there were like three of them within like 15 miles of me in California that I visited when I lived there. But like I said, nearest one is in Round Rock, which is a long ways away. You think Waco would be big enough to justify having one, and there's enough communities around here that would maybe benefit from it that you'd think they'd be able to have one, but I guess they did at one point and it didn't make it. Yeah, we have Walmart. Walmart's all over the place. Logan says we have to post a picture of a blanket she made on Facebook. You'll have to do that, Rhonda. You can make an upside down pineapple cheesecake. Can't you just make it right side up and flip it over? Yeah, there's like two Walmarts in this area that I know of, probably more. But I don't put Walmart like in the same category as Costco. Costco really is bulk. Yeah, well, there's a Walmart superstore. Yeah, but unfortunately, we're never gonna stop the big companies like Walmart and stuff like that from putting small companies out of business. That's just the way it works. Going back to Bucky's, there's a Bucky's opening up in Hillsboro soon. I don't know exactly when. I haven't been able to exactly determine. Let's see if we can figure this out here. Okay, let's see if we can get a date here. Oh wow! Apparently there's some dork. Oh wow! Apparently there's some dork named with a vlog called "Escaping the Mouse" that's been there once. Okay, let's see. When does it open? See, last time I looked at this, I couldn't get the information because so many websites these days are putting stuff behind the firewall, and so you got to subscribe to them before you can get the information. Yeah, see, this was posted more than a year ago, so that's not going to help. Let's see. Maybe they would go to maybe there's a Bucky's website that'll tell us. Let's see. We're going to find this out here. Locations. There we go. Let's go there. It isn't listed on the main page yet. No, I'm not seeing it right now. But I am going to walk. I want to check that place out, and when they open up, I will. I will definitely go check them out because I have a lot of fun going to Bucky's, and they're just a fun store. Even if you don't buy anything, um, you it's just kind of fun to wander around and look at stuff. Yeah, that is kind of the cool thing about little neighborhood hardware stores is it's usually run by some person who's just really into that kind of stuff, and they can give you all sorts of advice on how to do things. You don't get that necessarily from Home Depot and that stuff. Oftentimes, those are just employees that are just okay. You're in this department today. Where's Bite? He was out here a little bit at the beginning, but yeah, I guess he went back to his room. Okay, Rhonda said she posted the picture. Let's see if we can find it here. Wow, Logan did that. That's a good job, Logan. Here, let me put this up so you can see it. Okay, gonna put your thing online here, Logan. So yeah, there you go. There's Logan's blanket or comforter here. That's pretty. You did that all by yourself, Logan? That's good work. Gonna have to get you to make me one. Oops, keep punching the laptop here. See what ends up happening is I got a TV tray in front of me, and the TV tray is pushed as far as it can until it hits the couch. But unfortunately, I have to lean the laptop over the TV tray a little bit to get it close enough. Because if I have it back this far, then I have a hard time reading the text on the screen. So It's kind of leaning off the TV tray a little bit, and every once in a while I punch it. Is Walmart similar to Bucky's? No, no comparison. Bucky's is almost kind of a touristy trap. It's really designed to almost be like a rest stop for people who are traveling. That was really nice of you. Gave it away to a baby that's about to be born. That's cool. You do nice work, Logan. Nice job. You were blocked? Huh, that's weird. Yeah, you got a smart kid there, Rhonda. You got blocked on Facebook? Hmm, that's weird. I think she's asking if, when you were talking about crocheting, and you never got the hang of it, she's asking if you took lessons. I think that's where we're going with that. Oh, okay, never mind. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, I don't necessarily think that's it though, because you setting your profile as private shouldn't affect what other people see when you post on a group like the channel, like the Facebook page. It would mean that they can't go and look at your Facebook profile and go look at your posts and stuff and your pictures and all that stuff. But it shouldn't affect that. What I'm almost wondering is if Spaniel Mom accidentally blocked you, and if that's the case, then she'd have to go unblock you. Hey, Elvis. I want to visit the Alamo too. I don't know if I'll do that this trip, but I'll definitely hit that at some point. Got to check out the basement. I hear there's a bike down there. Very elaborate one. All right, we're through one glass of water. Let's move on to number two here. That's right. I'm drinking number two. Yeah, maybe later in the year. We do two maintenance cycles a year, and it's a little bit different now. I used to go in and do work on the maintenance cycles, but now I'm a lead. They don't really want to bring me in at the money I make doing that, so I just end up taking time off for that. I'd like to go on a UFO watch too. That'd be fun. Yes, so we're at the halfway mark. I decided what I'm going to plant. You mean like in the garden? I think I'm going to probably go with tomatoes again this year. We want to go all out on that. I have an idea. I think that'll make the tomato plants work a little better this year, and hopefully we'll get some better results. Um, and then I don't know. We'll probably just do the jalapenos again next year. I got a pretty good crop of those this year, and what I've been doing actually is something that my mom suggested to me about a year ago, taking some of those jalapenos, drying them out, mixing them with salt, with salt, and making my own kind of jalapeno salt. And I've been doing that, and it's really good. It was something that my mom mentioned. She said some friends of hers did it, and they don't even use regular salt anymore. They use this stuff, and I could see how people would like that. I took a bunch of ghost peppers this year and made ghost pepper salt, and yeah, it's got a nice bite to it. Have I ever tried moonshine? Yes, I've had moonshine a couple times, and it just tastes like really strong alcohol. In fact, I think I told you about that stuff that I found in a local liquor store here that falls under the category of moonshine. And I bought a little of that just once to try it, and it's not bad. What's the next step up for me in the job? It's really hard to describe what it would be, but I would go into upper management if it was the next step. And it kind of seems like maybe that's the direction that would be maybe the next logical move for me. But I got a lot to do, a lot to learn before I'll be ready for that. Yeah, I never really got a whole lot of tomatoes off of the plant this year, and but it was weird that the tomato plant that I had, I didn't plant it this year. It was something that got left over from last year, and so that was weird because you remember I tried to grow Brussels sprouts and broccoli this year, didn't get anything out of that. So, but the one tomato plant came back. But unfortunately, I got those little curlicue spike things that you use, but the curlicue spike things are only about 4 feet long, and the vines on the tomatoes can be 10, 20, 30 feet long. So it just gets up to the top of that and then it drapes back down to the ground again. So I got an idea this year what I want to do about it. We're going to try something a little different. Yeah, the clock isn't holding time yet, but what I've been doing is resetting it on Sunday before the live stream. So right now it is right on, but when I reset it, it was about 6 minutes slow. So I'm still dialing in the timing on it. That will just take time. The cuckoo clock is the same thing. It's drifted a little bit, so I'm having to make adjustments to it. It lost about 4 minutes in the last week. Hi Susan, how are you? It's a beautiful day in Florida, huh? I've thought about strawberries too. That'd be fun. Did I ever fail a missions test in one in California? Yes. That was a colossal pain in the neck. I failed it because in California, you go in for the initial test, and if you fail it, then there's like some special place you have to go to, and they have to fix and then retest. And it is way, way more expensive when you go to these special places. California just, I don't know, they don't want to make anything easy. You know, compare that to what I did, for re-registering my car in Texas a month or so ago. Um, it's what, $50 for the registration, and you have to get a vehicle inspection, and the vehicle inspection is like $5, and that's the end of it. I registered both my car and the trailer that I bought a couple years ago, and it was less than $100 to get both of them done. I paid more than that for my car, just a car alone, just in California, and that's without the smog check or any of the other stuff. Flash is going to need some strawberries. Actually, Flash is out of hibernation now. Probably won't last long, but I saw her out and about yesterday. Well, actually, last week we had like a cold streak blew through here, and it got into like the low 30s at night. So I moved Flash into the garage for a couple nights, and then by last Monday or so, it was warming up again. So I moved her back into the backyard, and she's out and about. I looked a couple days ago. She wasn't in her box anymore. I found her in the backyard, hiding under one of the trees. But yeah, her hibernation isn't what people think of. People, I think when they think of hibernation, they think of like bears. Where they go to sleep and then they're asleep for 3 months. Flash's hibernation is all based on what the temperature is. So if it gets warm out, she'll be up and about. If it's cold in the summer, she'll go into hibernation mode. If it's warm in the winter, she'll be up. But strawberries would be fun. Yeah, I love strawberries. It'd probably be like the tomatoes that wouldn't make it into the house. I just pick them off the vine and whoa, right down the throat. I've drained the pool. I haven't made a decision which way I'm going to go yet with it. I just decided, if I'm going to repair the pool liner, I'm going to have to drain the water. And if I'm going to remove the pool, I'm going to have to drain the water. So there was no reason not to. Hey, there's Jeff. Oh, he can't hear us tonight. Well, he's loud where he is. He must be having lunch. Peas from the garden would be good too. You're right. The pool is still standing. It's empty, but it's standing. And when I pulled the water out of it, they were right. I was thinking maybe we could just replace the walls and put the old liner back in there. But they were saying, yeah, that's really hard to do when you take the water out of it. The pool liner tends to contract a little bit, and then it's hard to get back into position. I'm thinking at this point what I might do is wait a little while with the pool and let's see what happens. Uh, see how much I really miss it this summer, and if it gets to the point where I say, oh, I really want to have the pool back, then maybe this summer we'll do set it up again. I don't know. Like I said, it's just been a lot of issues with the pool, and I love having it, but I spent so much money keeping it going. Oh yeah, Flash is cold blooded, so her entire existence depending on what the environment does. I think you may be right, Darth. I probably will miss it, but I want to see how big of an issue it is. Yeah, I've thought about some of those blow up tubs too. I don't know. What I really like about the pool that I have though is, what I like to do is like dive under the water and swim to the other side. I love being underwater. I thought a hot tub too, but I don't know. And I've said this before, oftentimes on evenings, when a nice warm evening in the summer, I'll go out and I'll take a little walk around the community. And, even at night, in the summer, it'll be 85, 90 degrees. And so you get out there and you walk around, you come in, you've worked up a little bit of sweat. There's nothing better than hopping into that pool and cooling off, sitting in there, drinking a nice cold beer. It doesn't get any better than that. Yeah, exactly, Lindex. It's hard to go do flips or diving underwater in a hot tub. Yeah, if I replace the pool, I literally will have replaced just about everything. We got a new filter housing because that cracked. We've replaced, well, actually overhauled the pump. We've replaced the pool vacuum. Now it's going to be the walls and the liner. I don't know if the above ground require more maintenance or not. I know you'll invest more for an in ground because it's there's more to it. It isn't just an aluminum skin and a piece of plastic. Hi, Tracy. I have thought about that too, John, but I don't know. I don't know if I really want an in-ground pool. An in-ground pool would take up more room. It is true, though, removing the pool would add so much room in the backyard. None of my neighbors have, at least none of my immediate neighbors have a pool. There's a few of them in the area. Yeah, see, that was one of the requirements I had when I found a house here. One of the things I didn't like about the neighborhood I lived in California was that it was an HOA controlled. Okay, fine. They kept they kept the front area looking real nice. I didn't have to do anything out there, but you know, I didn't want to have some community organization coming in and say you can't do that. And so that was one of the requirements on my list when I was looking for a house. No HOA. You're getting commercials. Well, you should have been getting them all along because I put them in every live stream. That's where most of the income comes from. I guess I can understand a little bit where you have like a historic neighborhood where they want to try and keep the history alive. Some people wouldn't do that. They'd take a beautiful historic house and tear it down and replace it with some modern monstrosity. I could see really getting into that, buying some beautiful, old historic house and fixing it up and making it really, bringing it back to its prime and stuff like that. I think I would get a kick out of doing that. Where's Bite? Bite's around. Bite. I heard somebody jump off on the shelf, so we'll probably see a cat peeking around there. Yeah, there he is. There's Bite for you. There's my buddy. At least my buddy's butt. See, that's how you give him the exercise. Anyway, yeah, I haven't killed and eaten them or anything. They're still here. Yeah, that's getting a little crazy when you can't plant certain kinds of plants. Oh, yeah, we lost Gene here. In fact, it was funny when I moved into the house in California, first thing I did was join the HOA so I could try and make sure that we moderate that and keep them, you know, tame because they were already doing crazy things like, oh, you got to have certain approved doormats in front of your house. It's like, really? Come on, guys. Yeah, we had a community pool at the HOA I was in. It was never really that crowded, but then again, I rarely used it. I used it a couple times, but and the times I did would be like days where I wasn't working, so it was during the day and nobody was there. Yeah, like I said, I like having total control over what goes on in my yard, not having to worry about whether the HOA, is concerned about it or whatever. Now, the whole thing with the doormat, they had the rule, but I don't think they ever really enforced it. It has a bad word on it. And then you wonder where Logan gets it. See, that was one of the things I ran into also was painting. Uh, about a year or two before I moved out of the house in California, the HOA came forward and said, okay, everybody has to paint their house now. And you could choose one of 8 colors. And the only condition is you couldn't pick the same color as the house across the street from you or the house on either side of you. And so there was really only one color I wanted. And so I got in, did it first, and got the color I wanted. And it was a pain. Now, a lot of people just hired somebody to do it. I actually ended up doing it myself. It took me about a month to paint the house, uh, but it turned out good. In fact, there was one guy that was painting a whole bunch of the houses in the neighborhood, and he looked at my work, and said, "You actually did good work." So, I did it for basically my parents one that year bought me a paint sprayer for my birthday or something like that, and so all I had to do was rent the pressure washer to wash off the house and then pay for the paint. And so I got the whole house painted for, I don't know, well under $1,000. Took a month, but it was fun. I'm glad I did it. It was a good experience. You're right, John. That's what they say. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. They told us it was dirty. It looked gray. I said, it is gray. Well, what I did is I divided up the house into, probably a dozen parts. And what I'd do is I'd, you know, you know, mask off everything that I didn't want to get paint on. And I actually started in the back of the house so I could kind of get the feel of the paint sprayer a little bit. But it isn't really that hard to do. You just got to, keep it moving back and forth, and don't overlap a lot. Don't let the paint, don't hold the sprayer in one place and spray in one area. You just got to keep it moving. And I got to the point where it was pretty good. And I just bought some paint sprayer at Home Depot. I think it was a couple $100. Yeah, no, I had to paint one of the 8 colors. I don't think plaid was one of the options. Yeah, I would have gotten fines and all that from the HOA, definitely. Yeah, I wasn't really into the gray color they had me paint inside either, but whatever. That's, they said, apparently that was the style at the time. It was even here too. You remember when I moved into this place, most of this place was gray too. That just must be the color that all the realtors have decided this is the color the house needs to be. They say, oh, it makes it look modern. I think it makes it look like a prison, but whatever. I got good money for my house, and it's clear that when right before I moved into this place, or before the old owners moved out, that they had the place painted. If I'd known that at the time, I would have said, just knock off the cost of the paint, and I'll take it as it is, because I'm gonna repaint it anyway. Yeah, that was one of the things that I couldn't wait to paint this place because it was the place was kind of depressing. But you go back and watch that original video when I walked through here, with exception of the two bedrooms, uh, the two kids' bedrooms, the whole house was painted gray. Yeah, but did really anyone really think that Nikki was gonna get South Carolina? I mean, Carolina, they didn't support her. She was at best kind of a marginal governor. We don't need any more of this. Let's meet him halfway nonsense. Meeting him halfway has gotten us where we are. We got to push back. Nikki just needs to get out. But unfortunately, this is all about her. And, she's one of those people, she says she doesn't like Biden, but she's going to enable Biden to get reelected if she keeps doing what she's doing because she's going to divide the vote. I still got some of that lasagna soup that I made a week ago. Well, I remember Nikki when she was a just the governor, and I never really heard any earth-shattering, groundbreaking things that she did. You know, she's she's a rhino. She's not what we need right now. Yeah, I agree, John. And she's an attention seeker, definitely. Heard somebody say on the radio today that she's basically ruined her chances for 2028. Well, Biden thinks he's running again. I don't know. I don't think the DNC wants him anymore. I try not to watch any press conferences with him. I'd love to see Trump pick DeSantis. Can you imagine that? And that would be the perfect thing too, because if you pick DeSantis and DeSantis was as great as a vice president as he is as governor of Florida, then he's setting DeSantis up for 2028 and 2032. And that would be just an awesome twofer. Tim Scott would be another good choice. I could totally get behind him. I did hear, yeah, I did, yeah, I read the headlines, so that gave me, yeah, apparently he says he's got an active sex life. I doubt that entirely. Right, right, Yvonne. Yeah, I do know what you mean, Susan. Yeah, Sarah would be another great choice. But right now, she's a great governor. But see that was why I was so glad when DeSantis dropped out. He pulled in second. He's a good second choice. But I think he saw that America needs Trump right now, and if he throws his support behind Trump, then he's setting himself up, one, for a VP slot, which I think would be great for him, and two, it sets him up for the next two elections. And can you imagine how good that would be for the country? Okay, I know there's a lot of people that don't like Republicans, but uh-oh, I think something good's about to pop up here. Oh yeah, DeSantis is a number one choice, definitely. And I haven't heard anyone mention Sarah. I'd like to do more interviews like that. I have been sort of getting a little bit involved with the Republican Party in Waco, and it would be fun to do an interview. The Republican Party hosts a bunch of events, where they do moderate, where they do debates and stuff like that, and have a moderator and the whole thing. It'd be fun to kind of go in and do that. Go in as sort of an outsider. It's like, okay, I don't know either of you. Introduce yourself to me and help me understand where you stand on things. Because one of the recent ones I saw was a debate that the RNC was holding in town for the two men who are running for sheriff in McLennan County. And it'd be fun to go there and interview them. That would be more local politics. The Allen West one was fascinating. One, because I knew the guy, I already respected him. I've seen him a bunch of time on TV. He's a smart guy. He's well thought out, and so, and like I said, I was intrigued by the idea that somebody was going after Abbott and challenging him from the right. That was the most interesting thing. But I could totally see myself doing more. It would have to be someone that I was really interested in getting to know, though. I'm not going to say that it has to be two men. Um, it just has to. I have no problem at all with a woman in any role of power. It's just she's got to be the right woman. She's got to be one that's got to be right on the issues. And that's unfortunately how the other side portrays things too much. Is if you don't support our female candidate, you're anti-woman. If you don't support our black candidate, you're anti-black. That seems to be right now how the party is working. They you know elect people that you're not allowed to criticize, and you can't be in office if you're above criticism. That's not a an elected leader. That's a dictator. Yeah, Thatcher was a great prime minister. It was her and Reagan and honestly Pope John Paul that ended the Cold War. He will not accept it. Ask to be the next VP. Okay. Well, and I think Trump has said that DeSantis is on his short list. Like I said, when DeSantis dropped out after his really good showing in that one election, I said, okay, that's good for the party. Now he needs to throw his support behind Trump and 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 go forward because Trump and DeSantis are both great choices, and it isn't doing anybody any good if they're beating each other up. That's only helping the other side. I'll be your press person, Susan. Yeah, but the left is going to crucify no matter who we uh, nominate. I mean, you remember when the candidate was Mitt Romney? A biggest rhino squish there is. And you remember how how ruthless the press were to him. Oh, he's got binders full of women, and he puts his dog and the kennel on top of the car. It's like, really? That's what you got? I've heard that them saying Michelle Obama too. It's like, ugh, no, that you couldn't make a worse choice in my mind. Yeah, I'm afraid you're right, John. I have thought about getting into politics, something local probably. I don't think I'd want to go for, even state level or definitely not federal level, but, maybe get on a city council or something. I have thought about that. Yeah, you're right, Yvonne. I was trying to figure out who Mike O was there for a second. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. I forgot. I don't think I've ever heard of that show, Rhonda. But then again, I don't have TV anymore, so she means Michelle Spaniel. There are a lot of people that make the argument that Michelle is actually a guy, so they call her Michael. It's YouTube, okay, yeah. I don't really go looking around on YouTube that much for stuff to watch. Am I for abolishing Social Security? Well, I'm for privatizing a part of it because the truth is there's not going to be anything there. By the time I'm old enough to take advantage of it, because there's they're putting more people into it. Bringing illegal aliens in here who just come in and collect. They've never paid into it. It was never a good thing anyway, and all the money in that so-called lockbox has already been looted, and there's just a bunch of IOUs in there. So we got to do something because the whole thing's going to collapse if we don't. I don't know what the answer is, but I had to talk to experts. But allowing somebody to invest in private corporations, I've done better through my 401k than I've done through Social Security. Yeah, but unfortunately, you can't force people to do things that they don't want to do. They don't want if they want to waste all their money, on stupid things, and you know what, you can't do anything. But it shouldn't be our responsibility to cover them when they've made stupid decisions in their lives. Best thing I ever did in my first real job. I had a 401k program. That was the best thing I ever did was getting going on that. Like I said, I have more money waiting for me in my 401k right now than I do waiting for me from Social Security. Well, and that's why I would not be in favor of cutting off anybody who's paid into it. You just need to give the new people an option to invest in something that's actually going to be there when it's time for them to retire. Because right now, your 20 or 30 somethings out there that are paying into Social Security, that's not going to be there by the time they're old enough to retire. That money's gone. I'm sorry, that money was stolen and spent decades ago. Yeah, but unfortunately, politicians saw it. That was a big pool of money that they could, go and spend. That they didn't have to, they're just taking it on paper and they can promise to pay it back in the future, and they're not gonna. That money's all gone. Can't count on the government for anything. I mean, I got to count on myself. That's it. Well, see, that's sort of the benefit. I don't know how it works in Canada, but that's sort of the benefit with the 401ks in the States, Rhonda, is that, it comes out of your paycheck before you, even receive it. It reduces your tax burden. And a lot of times the company, at least in the States, will match that at least partly. And so it's a great option. No, you're absolutely right, John. Yeah, see, pensions are largely out now. It's done through 401ks in the States. The problem I think with pension plans is that the pension plan is generally invested in the company, and if the company goes under, you're out of luck. Yeah, I agree with you, Susan. Term limits, especially. I mean, I don't think there should be any age limits because if the person is on top of it, and is still in control of their facilities, there isn't really that much of a difference in the age between Trump and Biden. But you look at him, the difference is very, very clear. Trump is sharp, active, intelligent, and Biden, I don't honestly think he knows where he is most of the time. So I wouldn't say age limits, but I would say term limits on all offices, including judges. I'm a big fan of a radio talk show host named Mark Levin, and he wrote a book a few years ago called The Liberty Amendments. That was a really, really good book. It's one of his better books, and it had like half a dozen amendments that he would make to the Constitution to undo some of the damage that's happened. If you ever get a chance, check out that book. Check out anything by him because he's a great author. Well, that is true. My rocks are sort of an investment, and so a lot of the stuff that I do get, it's they're things that I could turn around and sell at some point. In fact, I've talked to the one of the owners at the Gallery 11 place that I go, and she says, "Yeah, I mean, you've got a pretty amazing collection. If you get to the point where you want to sell anything off, we'll buy it back." Yeah, I like Dan Bongino too. Don't think I've ever heard Howie Carr. Yeah, I became a Mark Levin fan. No, I don't know, probably 15, 20 years ago. He wrote a book. His first book was called Men in Black, about the courts and all that. And I saw him, I think, on Hannity and Combs promoting the book. And I got the book and read it. It's like, wow, this guy's amazing. And I've read every book he's read since then, or every book he's written. Am I funding Trump's campaign? No, no, I haven't sent money to anyone since, for like 20 years. I sent money to George Bush for his reelection once. Yeah, I have a pretty healthy collection of memorabilia. I mean, I was looking at some of my Guided by Voices posters, and it's like, I haven't really collected any new Guided by Voices posters in, probably 10 years. Um, but the stuff I've got is some very, very nice quality vintage stuff from the 1990s to 2000, the early 2000s. It's all in vintage shape, mint or near mint shape. And a lot of this stuff is collector's items today. You don't even see that stuff for sale anymore. So yeah, I could probably, make some serious money on my Guided by Voices collection, and and stuff like that if I really got to the point where I was in a pinch. In fact, I've shown you those Guided by Voices records, the Propeller albums. Um, I had 10 of them at one point of the original 500 pressing. And I actually ended up selling a couple of them when I was gearing up to sell the house in California because I needed a little bit of money at the time to get through, and did that, and that enabled me to kind of make the moves. I only have 8 of them right now, but that's they're still down there. They're still worth money, and I could still sell them. And a lot of them, are still in the original shrink wrap. I've never played any of my propellers. I don't even have a turntable to play them on. So, you know, yeah, but Jordan doesn't buy stuff as an investment. Jordan buys stuff because he loves it. It's something that reminds him of some happy memory in his life. So, I don't see him buying that as an investment, but more just because he loves the thing. And you know what? More power to him. He's got the money, he can afford it. Good for him. Very happy for him. Which Pink Floyd? Because I think it depends on what album. Because Pink Floyd, I don't know. I like the Roger Waters era stuff, and especially kind of the early to mid stuff. I like Metal. I like Wish You Were Here. I like Animals. Those are great albums. I don't know how I'd even play a turntable. I don't think my tuner has a turntable input. Now, maybe turntables are different because in the old days, you had a special input on your tuner for the phonograph, and it had some special filtering to deal with the output of the turntable. Now, maybe modern turntables now have just a standard line input or line output. If that was the case, then you don't need the special input. But you couldn't run a regular turntable on a non-turntable input because of some of the filtering they did. Now you still need an amplifier, at least in most cases. I mean, I suppose it's possible to build a turntable that has a built-in amp, but usually you run external devices like that through an amplifier. That's really cool. Rolling Stones album signed by the band. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've had a turntable, and I never really had a good one because I was into compact discs so early that it's like, okay, yeah, we don't even need one of those. Those are obsolete. It would be fun to have one. That's cool too. A Paul McCartney signed album. It's a Paul McCartney album, right? I mean, I think it'd be really funny to go get Paul McCartney to sign a Led Zeppelin album or something like that. Gave all your albums away. I've still got all the albums. I never really had a whole lot of albums. Like I said, I was into compact discs really early on. So, my focus is on my compact disc collection, and that's pretty massive. What's the news about Brian Wilson? No, I didn't hear that. I do remember the plastic flexi albums that you get like in Mad Magazine. I remember at one point they would give you albums on the back of like cereal boxes. You cut it out and poke a hole in it and put it on the record player. Oh, he has dementia. That's too bad. Probably all those drugs he took. Yeah, I've seen those tower speakers. That was like the must-have stereo system back in the 80s. Still have your original Grease album. That's too bad. Brian Wilson's a great talent. I remember K-Tel records. I got a couple K-Tel records, I think. I have Polk speakers on my surround system here. They're pretty good. I'm very happy with them. They move some good audio. I have an original script from Christmas with the Crunch. This is signed by Jordan Lee. Yeah, I remember the 10 for a penny. I don't know. I want to go find something to vlog. I don't know if it'll be today or not, but that's one of the things that one of the fringe benefits I didn't really anticipate when I started going a little bit more irregular, doing with the vlogs is, from a timing schedule is I got up this morning and said, I want to go do something and vlog it. There's a lot of times when I got to do 3 a week. It's like, okay, what are we going to vlog today? What are we going to do? We got to get something up. You know, I really like the fact that I kind of backed off a little bit and now I'm just doing it when, you know, there's something that I want to do or getting up in the morning and say, I want to go vlog something today. So I don't know. We're going to do something. Vlog grass grow. I see that was part of the reason why I did um, kind of backed off on the scheduling a little bit here because I did think that some of mine had basically were the equivalent of watching grass grow or watching paint dry. It's like, Uh, I'm not into this, and if I'm not into this, I can't imagine how anybody else is. I think the stuff I've done recently has been better because I'm focusing on interesting topics. And see that's sort of the difference I think between me and other vloggers is that um, I'm not doing this as my primary source of income. Jordan and Justin and Adam and Jacob and all of them, that's what they do for a living. I've got a real job and I've said this before, my life would actually be a lot easier probably if I stopped vlogging. But I enjoy doing the vlogging, and so it's I like the fact now that I'm getting up on days and saying, I feel like going out and vlogging today. So hopefully that's leading to greater stuff. The bridge, what are you talking, the suspension bridge? Because I've been over that a bunch of times. Yeah, see, my grass isn't growing right now. It's all kind of brown outside, but that's sort of what it does in the winter. Speaking of grass, is pot legal in Texas? No, no, it is not. Yeah, I haven't even. I don't really watch other vlogs at this point. It's funny, I've met Jacob, but I've never actually watched one of his vlogs. It is, John, and you know what? I love the fact that all that stuff is out there. That there's almost 1,000 videos that I've produced, and some of them are actually really good. So it's an interesting. It's me telling the story of my life and the things I'm into, and I've had a good time doing it, and I still enjoy doing it. So yeah, that's it exactly. Show you some of the things you've never seen before. Thank you, Darth. I appreciate that. I mean, the fact that the people sit and watch this and leave comments and stuff like that, that's really what it is that gives me the desire to keep this going. If nobody was watching, it's like I wouldn't do this anymore. Thank you, Lindex. I appreciate that, and I hope you like the more recent ones even better because the stuff I've done recently, I think is just if I'm more interested, more into it, then I think you are too. I thought sometimes I was like, phoning it in when I'd go out and do the hiking vlogs or something like that. Yeah, those are fine once in a while, but yeah, I think that was just a live stream I did one day, right? Yeah, I guess I'd get a little concerned about cutting out parts of my intestines. Oh, we just did the same thing, Rhonda. We spent the last 2 hours here talking. Yeah, we're coming to the end of this one, Rhonda. So, yeah, I think we'll wrap this one up now. Come back again next week and we'll take another shot at this. We're going to get this right one of these days here. So, anyway, I think that's all I got for today. Thanks, everyone, for watching. I'll see you next time. Good night.